Welcome to my real weight loss journey. I'm Richard Greenland, and today is update 8. It's been 8 weeks since I started this, 8 weeks into the year, so let's see how I'm doing. Let's go ahead and put up that weight loss chart here. As you can see, I started the week last Thursday morning at 286.8, and I shot up really quickly because of pizza night that night. I really need to find an alternative for that. First off, I had too many pieces of pizza, but second off, pizza itself, even supposedly healthy pizza, is still really high in calories. So even just one or two slices still throws everything else out of whack. So I'm still figuring that out. Not sure what I'll do about that, but if you have any suggestions as to what I can do about that, please go ahead and leave it in the comments. It is a tradition, so I don't want to get rid of it completely, but is there like some sort of I don't know, healthier option or something that I can do for it, or am I just stuck with trying to keep my intake of pizza just super low and not really enjoy it as much, or what? I don't know. Like I said, go ahead and leave a comment. Anyways, after that, I at least did not go any higher than that in the days afterwards. I either stayed the same or dropped, and so it eventually came back down. Yesterday I was actually at 286.4, and then today I added 0.2 pounds to that. So overall loss for the entire week was just 0.2 pounds. It would have been 0.4 at my lowest weight, but 0.2 overall between last Thursday morning and this Thursday morning, right, this morning. So I know that's not great, 0.2 pounds, just like last week. At least it's heading in the right direction, so that's a positive. I don't want to get down on myself too much, but I know I have work to do. I know that I can't just settle for losing 0.2 pounds every week. If I do that, I'm not going to reach my goal of 50 pounds lost at least this year. Even 30 pounds would be okay, I guess, but it's not it wouldn't make me as happy. I want to lose at least 50 pounds this week. That is my goal. That's what I'm going to strive for. There's no point in setting a goal if you're not going to at least try and reach it. There's something to be said for having a goal that stretches you quite a bit and maybe not quite reaching the goal, but you're still doing really good. And that's why I say, if I lose 30 pounds this year, that would still be good, but I'd still be disappointed in myself. So I want to lose at least 50 pounds, and I have to have an average of a pound a week in order to do that. As of right now, I'm still, over a pound a week, but that average is going down because every week that I don't reach that pound a week, it's, decreasing my average weight loss. So I've got to do something here. So what's going right and wrong? Well, I'm not going to throw the rules up just like last week. I basically have two things that I know I need to work on. One thing really quick before I get into those two things is that I do exercise. You can continue to watch me on Twitch or on my Greenland Gamers YouTube channel to see me exercising with the Ring Fit Adventure game. I've been doing that every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So 4 times a week I do that. I'm possibly considering doing some more on Saturday also. But other than that, I do other exercises anyways. So if I don't do that on Saturday, I'll just walk more or try other things. I do enjoy it. I enjoy the Ring Fit Adventure quite a bit. I like video games. And so I found something that I like to do that gets me active. And the fact that I'm streaming it live, even though I don't know if I really have any viewers except my own family. And by own family, I mean my oldest son basically is the only one that really watches me. Nobody else seems to want to wake up at 4:30 in the morning. But that's how it is. But hopefully, maybe some people are watching it through YouTube or other places. And so hopefully I'm helping people out. Hopefully I'll get more viewers on that to keep me even more motivated. But it definitely is helping to know that I'm live. Anyone could stumble in on what I'm doing, and so I have to keep it up. I can't just kind of relax and cheat my way through it. I'm fully accountable because I'm live. It's not just a recording. On YouTube, sure, it's a recording, but it's a recording of what was live at one time, and I am actually streaming it live where anybody could see me. So that helps a lot. I definitely have been a little bit sore this week, but nothing like the first week I was doing it. Um, you know, doing different parts. A couple days I've been doing just working my whole body. One day I work just my upper body. One day I work just my lower body, and so it helps a lot. I really really enjoy this. I definitely recommend that. If you like video games and you're having a hard time deciding, or learning or doing the exercise, just doing it or deciding what to do or anything like that, definitely give Ring Fit Adventure a try. If you've got a Switch or if you're willing to buy one, that makes it so much easier. So, anyways, moving on. A couple things I need to work on. First off, the processed and sugary foods. That kind of for me, that's always combined. Processed and sugary, those tend to be combined. Not always, I guess, because my wife, being a baker, does make some sugary or sweet foods that are more natural, actually. She uses more natural ingredients and stuff like that. We do buy sweet stuff kind of often, I guess, more often than we really should. But I typically don't eat very much of those. If I do, it's just a taste and I'm done. The ones that really get me are the sugary ones that my wife makes. I think she makes things a lot better than any store-bought stuff is. So that's a lot more tempting. I still try to limit myself, and I'm not doing terrible with that. Same thing with the processed food. I'm not doing terrible with it. It's something I know I need to work on. The big thing I know I need to work on is keeping track of calories. I know we talked about this in a prior update, and I've shown you the MyFitnessPal app, and that app makes it easy to keep track of calories if you know the food that you're putting in. And that's the big thing. Things that are prepackaged, that it's easy to grab, or simple things that are just there, like a piece of fruit or something. Those are all in there easily. And so those are easy to track. And I usually do a decent job at tracking those things. I usually put them in, keep track of them, no problem. Where I have a problem with tracking my calories is when we have homemade food. For example, a lot of the Filipino dishes that we like to eat, they're harder to find in the database. And the thing is, I shouldn't say they're harder to find, because you'll find them in the database for the MyFitnessPal app. But they have like 4 or 5 different types, and they all have different calorie levels, different protein, fiber, everything else levels. And it's hard to know exactly which of those is the closest to what you made, what I made, what my wife made, whatever we made, what's the closest? And so the only way that I've found to be able to be more accurate is to go in and actually create your own recipes. And that actually takes a while. It's not as easy as it should be. And that's one thing I'm not super fond of the MyFitnessPal app for. I like that it has that capability, at least, so you can put your own recipes in, put the ingredients in and everything, and it'll calculate it based off of that. So that's good, but it's not as easy as it should be. It's a lot easier on their website than it is on the phone app, but it's still kind of a hassle. And so that's where I have trouble with keeping track of my calories, is when we do the homemade meals, which generally speaking are healthier. But if I can't keep track of it, it's harder for me to know, am I okay with taking a slightly larger serving? Do I have to limit it? Is it getting me enough fiber or protein? Things like that. And so it's harder to tell. One thing that I've thought of doing is not necessarily keeping track of calories as strictly as I've been trying to lately. I know when I started this, I was saying I was going to not be super strict on it, but I found that I do better when I do keep track of it strictly, instead of just kind of, guessing as to what I'm eating. But I'm also thinking that if I just focus on very filling food, especially vegetables that are very low in calories but high in water and fiber, then I might be able to get by with not keeping track as strictly of my calories, just because I wouldn't necessarily be eating as much to start with of those higher calorie foods, just because I'd be fuller from the vegetables. The only thing about that, though, is I also wouldn't be keeping track of my fiber and protein intake, which fiber probably wouldn't be too big of an issue because vegetables tend to have quite a bit of fiber, depending on the vegetables you use, but most of them have a decent amount of fiber. Protein, on the other hand, though, very few vegetables have a decent amount of protein. Typically, you have to go to your grains or your seeds, nuts, beans, other legumes like that. Those will have more protein, but straight up vegetables, typically don't. And so that's one thing I'd have to be careful of if I was not keeping track of my calories. So I'm gonna maybe play around with that this week, kind of get an idea. I've also played around with the idea of just going and just taking an hour or two, finding some of the most common recipes we do, and just putting them into my fitness pal, just sitting down and taking the time to do that so I know what I can grab. That being said, we make it a little different each time, it seems, because Filipino recipes especially, you don't seem to measure a lot. You just say, okay, this is about right, and you throw it in. Yeah, there's always that. But, at least it's close. And like I said, if something is close, that's usually good enough. So I'll go ahead and try and do some of that. Go ahead and leave some comments too. I'd love to get some tips for myself as to what I can do to be better at making sure I'm not going over on my calories, since that seems to be a big issue with me. Not as much the unhealthy food, even though I do have my share of that. But the big thing is I just eat too much, because I do eat healthy quite often. It's just I eat too much of it. So please leave comments below. Suggest what I can do to keep better track of my calories, or to just reduce my calories in general. What do you think of the ideas I've mentioned? Do you think those would work? Do you think one's better than the other? So please go ahead and leave those comments. Go ahead and subscribe. Let your friends and family know. And thank you so much for watching.